let's move on to the first lecture of section 2, that is understanding Lien and what is Lien strategy. But before I go ahead with this topic, so I would like to tell you about something about exponential growth and the linear growth. So the day and age we are in today, we are like the companies, the softwares or the products are growing at an exponential rate, right? You see new products, new services, new innovative things coming up every day, and they are just refining their processes at an exponential rate, right? So what exactly is the difference between the linear and the exponential rate? So basically our mindset is always linear. Like linear is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. So if I ask you to take 30 linear steps, you would know where you would land up after 30 steps, right? But if I ask you that take 30 exponential steps, that is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, so where do you think exactly you are going to land up? If you are sitting here, so how many kilometers you would be away? Wait, I tell you, you would have taken 26 rounds of this planet. So this is the power of exponential thinking, exponential rate, which we need to understand if we need to survive in the market like this. So I just give you an example. So in 1996, Kodak was one of the biggest company. It invented digital camera. It was a big company with $100 billion market cap, right? So huge company. But they thought that digital camera was not of very good quality. The quality of pictures was quite low. And they thought that it's just for children's play, that it would be used by children to play around. But they never followed through this digital camera technology. They never just went ahead and tried to improve it. What they couldn't foresee was that digital camera technology was improving at an exponential rate, right? You know, each of us have mobiles with digital cameras in it, and we know how good they are. So they have just from 1996, and today is just 2019, and what we can see is that how better or what kind of wonderful technology digital camera is, and many businesses are running because of this digital camera. You can take example of YouTube. So why YouTube is so popular? Because everybody has a digital camera even in their mobile phones, and they have their channels, and this is why YouTube is flourishing. But this Kodak couldn't see, and comes 2012, Kodak became bankrupt, right? Because digital camera was so convenient, and it was so good to use. It could people could use it like it was much more convenient, better in any sense than what Kodak was offering, because it did not just follow through this technology. And Kodak from 20 billion market cap just went down to 100 million, and it became bankrupt. So what I am trying to tell you is that you have to understand that today, if you need to flourish, you need to sustain in the market, you have to think ahead of your times. You have to be innovative. You have to just get new products and new features in your services, new products, and you have to be launching them continuously, because this is what market demands and this is what customer demands. So your focus should be, your resources, your manpower should be utilized on innovation, on exponential thinking, rather than thinking about defects and fixing those defects. So this is why the strategies like Lien and Six Sigma have become so popular, because they help you to remove waste, to just lessen the number of defects in your products and services, so that you can focus on innovation of your products, so that you can focus on adding more features. Is Lien, right? So coming to our topic, that is understanding Lien and what Lien strategy is. The Lien model for production, manufacturing or services is a collection of business practices, strategies and methods that focus on waste elimination and continuous improvement within the organization. So if you just look at what I just read, it's quite similar to what we did in Six Sigma. So instead of waste, there were defects, right? So Lien can be applied to all industries. So you cannot say that Lien can be only used in manufacturing. Lien can be used in businesses, offices, hospitality, service sector. Lien can be applied everywhere, and all businesses benefit from the Lien's rigorous, vigilant approach to waste reduction and increasing efficiency. Lean management as a philosophy has existed across cultures for centuries. So if you just go back in history and you just check, the rulers, the people who were successful were the ones who followed certain kind of lean principles, because they used less resources, they were more tactful, they didn't appreciate waste, they knew how to do the thing. So lean has existed since centuries, but it is just that as a strategy to improve business processes, it has been recognized and applauded recently, only just like 2 decades back or so. So lean as a philosophy is so holistic in nature that it can positively impact a wide range of strategic issues such as cost, revenue, product development, employee engagement, risk management, employee productivity and customer convenience. So lean is so holistic that it can take care of all the business processes, right? So lean management as a philosophy was interpreted from Toyota production system, that is also known as TPS, which is an operations and corporate culture system developed by a highly successful automobile manufacturer, that is Toyota. So lean is not an idea to be adopted by those who just watch quality, right? It is a way of thinking that has to be internalized. You need to learn lean, and you have to see that how you can fix lean or how you can just use lean in each and every of your process. So this is why you have just enrolled for this course, and your journey of lean will start from here. Let's begin by understanding the basic definition of lean. So lean definition states that lean is a management strategy and approach that endeavors to create profitable and agile businesses by relentlessly focusing on what is value to the customer. So when we say that lean, what does lean actually do? Lean actually makes the companies or businesses more agile, flexible, and like you can say sensitive towards what customer demands are, so that the companies can produce products and services which are thought of value by the customer, because they are the ultimately people who are going to buy your products and services. So why lean, right? There are many benefits which are associated with going lean, and every company will undertake this strategy for various reasons. So if I have to talk about few benefits which lean can get, obviously throughout this course we would be discussing about lean benefits. We will be talking about various tools which you can use so that you can just fetch those low hanging fruits for your organization. But here I have written few benefits so that you understand that why every company wants to go lean. Right. So first benefit is increased efficiency, that is improve the time it takes to deliver value to the customer and shortens the lead time. So obviously whenever we order something, we want it on time. So actually what does lean does it? Lean improves the delivery time, plus it also shortens the lead time, right? So it's always better to increase the efficiency in every sphere of the process. And then it increases the market share. Lean organizations often deliver the best products at best price with best quality. So what else does the customer want? They get the best product, the best quality at the best price. So obviously by going lean, we would be able to retain our market share by retaining our customer base. Then it increases the cash flow. Obviously when there would be less defects, no rework, and less inventory would be used, things would be produced at the pull of the customer, so obviously the cash flow will increase. Then ability to meet customer demands, it's very clear. Then free up the resources. So what does actually lean does? Lean frees up the capital and resources by reducing inventory, stabilizing processes and eliminating waste from the value stream. So what happens is that you have resources to give better value to the customer. Then it's improved quality. So basically improving quality lowers the cost and attracts additional business and customers. Then it's quick. When we talk about lean, its implementation is quick and it delivers results more quickly than any other business strategy. Then it's low on investment. When we talk about lean, we don't need to invest lots in the company to go lean, okay. So requires little investment but delivers high returns. It's an active approach, has a bias towards action rather than theory. So what actually we mean that everything in lean has to be done. You are doing something to your processes. It's not about theoretical. It's nothing about theory, and it's team oriented. So basically when we talk about team, so basically results happen with team participation. Everyone in the organization participates, and that's why it's called, it's also inclusive. As in Six Sigma and Lean, results are only, you will get desired results when everyone in the organization participate in these endeavors. And then it's easy to understand. Comparative to Six Sigma, the tools used in Lean are easy to understand, they are simple, they are not, Lean doesn't have any kind of statistical tools, right. Lean makes a company, its people aware. It creates awareness about the customers, processes and community, and it's thorough. Basically it teaches us to find out the hidden inefficiencies in our processes or our workplaces so that we can improve our businesses and our processes. So these are few of the benefits that why companies want to go lean. So one thing we need to understand when we are trying to implement lean is that at the center of lean business concept is the effort to eliminate 3 types of variations, and better still in lean we call it waste. So there are ideally 3 kinds of waste, that is Muda, Mura and Muri. I am just going to explain these 3 concepts in brief here because a different section in this course is totally devoted to understanding these concepts. So when we talk about Muda, so Muda represents waste in its most physical form, because when you will create your value streams, your process map, so you will understand that what kind of Muda is there, what kind of non-value added activities are there. So it's the waste in its most physical form, and it directly translates from the Japanese, in Japanese Muda means futility or uselessness, something that is futile, that is of no use. The objective with waste reduction and elimination is to clearly separate the value added activities. Now again I would be discussing what are value added activities, what are non-value added activities, and what are business value added activities under the section work, which would be included in this course. Right. So for now, understand that value added activities are those activities for which your customer is ready to pay. So what happens with the help of Muda, when we understand Muda, we try to distinguish, that is separate value added activities from the activities identified as non-value added activities. Now non-value added activities are there in your process, but your customer is not going to pay for them, right. So this is something you are paying out of your pocket, or either these are the forms of waste. So you need to separate your value added activities from non-value added activities to find out Muda. It is the easiest form of waste to understand, right. And then coming to Mura. Now Mura, it is a waste of unevenness, that is your processes are not like even, or the way you are using your machinery, your manpower is not even, right. So distinct from Muda and Muri, Mura is less easily qualified. So it's difficult to identify Mura. It leads to unnecessary downtimes or periods of stress on equipment, systems and workforce. So if I have to give you a very simple example of Mura, so just consider that you have 3 big trucks and you have 700 cartons, right, which you need to ship. So what you do is that the company does that, they just ship 400, they just put 400 cartons in one truck, 150 in the second and only 100 of the remaining in the third one, fine. So what they are actually doing is that they are creating Mura, that is they are not using each truck to its full capacity, they are overburdening the first one and the remaining are not used completely. So whatever resources are not used completely, they also lead to waste. Then comes Muri, the third form of waste. So it is a failure to understand the capabilities or to succumb to the effects of overburden. That if you are overburdening your processes and you are not understanding that, so that kind of waste which is generated is called as Muri. So overburden with Mura, that is unevenness, can also create expensive bottlenecking within the organization, that you won't understand that where are these bottlenecks, why our processes are not even, they are not stable, and why we are having so much defects, because we are not able to understand that we are overburdening our processes, we are not using them according to the way they should be used. So, if I have to give you just a brief summary of Mura and Muri. So, Mura is waste events, that is whatever is non-value added, and then Mura is unevenness of workflow. I just gave an example where I told you about the trucks, and Muri is overburdening, whether you are overburdening your machinery, your workforce, your systems. And then comes Mura is non-value added activity, that is activities for which your customer is not ready to pay. Mura reduces responsiveness. Now, basically what will happen if you are not using your its machinery, your manpower, anything according to its capacity or how much work they can do, how much load they can take. So, basically what will happen is it will reduce the responsiveness, and similarly with Mura it also reduces responsiveness. And when we talk about Mura it incurs cost. If we are having lot of non-value added activities for which the customer is not ready to pay, so basically who is doing that? You are paying for those. So, it incurs cost. So, Mura leads to waste events, that is wastage of your resources, maybe wastage of your manpower, the wastage of the capacity, and same way Muri also leads to waste events. Though the primary focus of Lien is based on elimination of waste, but as I mentioned earlier that Lien approach, Lien philosophy is actually interpreted from Toyota Production System, so which is basically TPS system, and it was introduced by Toyota, which is an automobile manufacturer. So, Lien strategy is much deep and can be understood using TPS, that is Toyota Production System, and it is like a, if you just look at the TPS, it's like a house, So, it's also called house of quality, which is much like a framework of a home, fine. So, I have just divided like this complete Toyota Production System for easy understanding into parts. So, we will be discussing each part, then we will put the complete thing together. So, first is solid roof. We need a roof for our house, and what actually this roof represents? So, this roof represents the goals you are trying to achieve, the goals your organization is trying to achieve, and we use strategies like Six Sigma, Lean, theory of constraints to achieve these goals, right. So, ideally most organizations target highest quality, low cost and shortest lead time. So, these are their goals in terms of quality, what they are trying to achieve. So, if you are trying to make your own TPS system or your house of quality, so what you can do is you can write your goals over here. That is the goal for most of the organizations today, is to get high quality, best cost, best lead times, right. Now, this roof is based on two pillars. You are placing this roof on two pillars, and the first pillar is just in time. Now, just in time is a very important concept, though it looks very simple, but to get this concept or to get this into your organization and it's working efficiently, it needs lots of effort. So, it attempts what just in time tries to attempt. So, it attempts to get your right products and services in right place, at right time, in right amount. Now, this is something very basic, but most organizations don't have these kind of practices. That is, first of all, they don't know what are the right amount of products and services, what are actually the right products and services they require, and then what is the right place where they should be in the right time and right amount. So, this is what just in time concept is actually about. So, the first pillar looks something like this. We will write just in time, and we use certain concepts when we talk about just in time. How do we get these things, that is right products and services in the right place, in right amount, at right time. So, how do we get these things done? So, we use certain concepts, or you can say tools, and these tools are pull, flow, takt time, and we will be discussing those as we just move ahead in this course. So, there are several important concepts that are pulled together to achieve operational excellence, something like this, right, to get your things at right place, right time, right amount. And then the second pillar is the Judoka pillar. Now you are getting your products at right time, right place, right amount, but what about quality? You need quality if you really want your customer to be happy. So here comes the Judoka pillar. Judoka is based on building quality into the organization or the enterprise by using concepts like mistake proofing, that's also known as poker yoke, visual controls, root cause analysis, line stops like and done system and all that. So basically till now what we have understood that house of quality has a roof, which is our goals, and it is supported by two pillars, that is just in time and Judoka. Moving to the third and the last component of a house, that is foundation. Now at the base of our TPS or our lean house is an operational stability, right? So the pillars, that is just in time and Judoka, need to be stable and strong, so they need a solid foundation. And how do we get this solid foundation? We use concepts, basically three key elements or three key concepts, that is standardized work, load leveling, that is Judoka, and Kaizen. Kaizen is basically making small improvements and then implementing those, not waiting for long times. So it's kind of continuous improvement. So together these three, these three key elements together, they create operational stability and give Lean Home a solid foundation to stand on. So this is how our foundation looks like. So if now I put all the components together, that is the roof, the pillars and the this foundation, so this is how the TPS system or the Lean Home or the house of quality looks like. So here we have our goals, then we have our two pillars, that is JIT and Judoka, and then we have our operational stability as foundation. But always remember, I never said it's house, I always said it's a home. So the core of this home or the heart of this home is culture and people, and the culture which has respect for its people. Because if you miss this thing out, then your house would not be working. So basically it would be a dead element, and Lean is not a dead element. So most important part of TPS is creating an environment and where positive behaviors, flexible, capable and respected people can work, because this environment helps people harness their skills, creating innovative, empowered, motivated individuals who know that they are being supported. So this core is very important, and because you have this kind of culture and this behavior, only then Kaizen and continuous improvement, the concepts like these can flourish in your organization and you are actually implementing Lean. Now that you understand the TPS system, so I'll just summarize this complete first part of our section 2, that is understanding Lean, by talking about, like I will just discuss the history of Lean in brief, right? So Lean cannot be fully understood if we do not understand history of Lean, because over the years much work has been done on Lean systems. So the system has developed gradually over the years, right? So Lean started immediately after World War II. After the war, Toyota was actually struggling with finances and had little resources, right, to go on, to carry on with their processes. They didn't have finances plus resources. So its production levels were less than 10% of what was Henry Ford producing using his mass production methods. So they chose its chief engineer Taiichi Ohno to study Ford's mass production methods, and when he did that, he studied those mass production methods. So Taiichi Ohno came up with TPS, the very basic one, and actually that focus of TPS that during that time was to reduce cost by eliminating waste from their systems. And then gradually as time passed on, he established many systems like JIT, Judoka, he added those to the TPS system. But the word Lean as we know it today was not coined by Toyota, it was done by James P. Womack in 1990s in his book